Welcome to Tanisha's Beauty Supply YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over how to start a beauty supply store part 1. This is such a broad topic that we have to break it up into parts. I'm going to use as a reference the website smallbiztrends.com, smallbiztrends.com 2021. And they have a website that shares information of how to start your own beauty supply store. So what I'm going to do is use this website as a reference, and then I'm going to share some of my experiences with you in opening up my beauty supply store. The first thing you need to do is come up with a mission statement. Basically, you need to decide what is your beauty supply store going to do differently from other beauty supply stores out there. And I can share with you my mission is to empower African Americans to open beauty supply stores in their own neighborhoods or in neighborhoods where there are African Americans living, because for generations we have been purposely kept out of the market. And so my mission is to bring awareness and knowledge to my people so that they can open their stores and take part in the profit of the beauty supply industry and not just stay stuck on the other side of the beauty supply industry as the consumer. So that's part of my mission statement. Another part of my mission statement is excellent customer service. I believe in excellent customer service, and I strive and I train my workers to be excellent in their customer service delivery. So those two key components are part of my mission statement when it comes to my business. So you have to develop and decide what is going to be your mission statement. What mission are you on in your beauty supply business so that you can stand out from the rest? So number 2, according to the article, it says decide on a niche and beauty brand. So what is your niche? So most successful beauty supply or beauty product businesses sell a wide variety of products, but you can have a niche. So in my niche, I focus on human hair, wigs, closures, frontals, bundles. That's what I focus on. And I came to that conclusion later as my business developed. I realized that you don't make majority of your money on the wet products like shampoo, conditioner, oil sheen, gel. You don't make the bulk of your money because you can only charge about a 30% markup. Where you make your money is on the products that you can double. You can double in wigs. So if you buy a wig for $20, you can sell it for $40. If you buy a wig for $250, you can sell it for $500. So that's where I have turned my focus with my beauty supply store. And actually about the last 2 years, almost ever since I've been open, when I started selling frontals and closures and realizing that people would pay. Back then, 2 years ago, it's about 60, 70, 80, 60, $70 for a frontal, which is a piece of hair with lace. People would pay $80 for it. Then I decided that I needed to push more of those products. Another part of my niche is clothing, accessories, jewelry. Like the shirt that I have on now, I sell this in my store. I probably pay $8 for it, so I sell it for $16. So I definitely carry clothing and accessories. I like to have a wide variety of items in my store because businesses go through different seasons. So there are seasons when people are not really shopping for women clothing. Like Christmas time, they're not really shopping in the beauty supply stores for women's clothing that much. I try to put gift baskets that we make in our store. What makes you different from your competitors? What is your niche going to be? I've been to some beauty supply stores, like if you go to Sally's beauty supply store, their niche is more of your professional wet products. That's what they specialize in. They specialize in products that are known for quality, but they do not specialize in accessories, clothing, bundles, hair. They do have hair, but it's not really typically where you would go to get your hair extensions. That's not their specialty. So decide what your specialty is going to be. And you know what? You might not even know it at first. Sometimes it develops over time. But the more you know what your niche is going to be, the better. So that when you're purchasing products, you can plan for that. Sometimes your customers will decide for you what your niche is going to be. I'm in a building with a lot of hairdressers. My customers decided for me that one of your specialty products is going to be edge control. One of your specialty products is going to be powder bleach to dye bundles. So your customers will also be part of deciding what your niche is. So next on the list, according to the website, number 3, know your target market. Who are you going to target in your business? Who are your customers? That's going to depend on a variety of things. Number one, where you open your business is going to determine who your customers are going to be. Sometimes I hear people making the statement that they want to be more so in the nicer suburbs. Like, I'll give you an example. In Michigan, Bloomfield Hills is a very elegant suburb in Michigan. I would never open a beauty supply store in Bloomfield Hills unless I was going to model the Sally's type beauty supply store. But the type of beauty supply store that I have, I would probably never open in an area like that. But you might decide that you're going to focus on opening in that area, and then you would do your research and target that market. Find out what people in Bloomfield Hills want to buy in a beauty supply store. Find out if they want to go to a beauty supply store. I just have had the experience that some of my friends who live in suburbs in that area, they do not really go to beauty supply stores. Not much at all. They don't do their own hair. They don't do much of their kids' hair, and they just don't really go to the stores, and they definitely don't buy clothing in the beauty supply store. Always decided to target my market to those who will shop in the beauty supply stores on a regular basis, who sometimes do their own hair or they do hair, and people who like to come to the beauty supply stores and buy clothing and accessories. Some women don't have cars, and so they like to be able to walk out of their house, go down the street, go to their beauty supply store, get their products that they need for their hair, their nails, buy a few pieces of clothing, sandals or shoes if they want, a purse, earrings. They want to be able to go down the street in walking distance and pick up those items. So you have to decide who your target market is going to be. Be sure to hit subscribe so you can get the latest updates on owning and operating your own beauty supply store. Be sure to hit the notification bell for new updates. Like, subscribe, and share. Research local beauty supply stores and check out the competition. Before I opened, I went to the local beauty supply stores, which were the Korean owned beauty supply stores, and I was able to look at the products to see what kind of products they sold out of and what kind of products they carried, because I was going to be opening in that area. They're already open, they're already established, they're carrying what the people in that area are buying. So you definitely want to go to the local beauty supply stores and check out what they're carrying. Check out the names of the braid hair that they carry. Check out the names of the pack hair, the quick weave. Check out to see if they're carrying clothing, what kind of accessories they're carrying. Check out their counter area. When people are checking out at the register, what do they have lined up all along their counter area? Because they've put those items there on purpose, because they are a quick sale. They are an upsell. So look at what they keep behind the counter. That's telling you that those are high theft items. If Asian beauty supply stores are keeping certain products behind the counter, that's because they're high theft. So when you open, you may not have to experience the theft of those items as much if you already know that Shine and Jam Edge Control is a high theft product. If you know that Ghost Bond, the small lace front glue, is a high theft product, you can start off day one keeping those particular items high up or behind the counter so that you don't lose money. by not knowing that these are high theft products. Check out your competition so that you know what you can start doing that they're not doing. So I'll give you an example. When I go into some of the Asian beauty supply stores in my area, their customer service is 0 to none. And so when I chose my mission statement, I included high quality, friendly customer service in my mission, because 99% of the Asian beauty supply stores that I was visiting, the customer service was in the toilet. I felt like when I walked in, I was being watched to make sure I didn't steal, and there was no friendliness. It was basically a atmosphere that I felt like, look, drop your money and get the heck out of here as fast as your little legs can carry you, because we don't want you here. We just want your money and get out of here. I wanted to bring my people a different shopping experience, because without the customer, you have no business. There is no business. Check out the competition. See what you can do differently that they don't do. I noticed that some of the stores I would go in were crowded, stuff on the floor everywhere. So when I designed my store, even though I have a small space, I use slat wall all around the whole store. And I try to leave open space in the middle as much as I could and hang everything along the wall, so that when people walk in, they didn't feel overwhelmed with the crowded products everywhere on every shelf. So you can decide what you can do differently, but you also want to pay attention to what your competitors are doing well, because they're doing it because it's working. Just keep an open mind when it comes to checking out your competition. Asking them where they order their products from, they're not going to tell you that. If you go through my videos, the time of this recording, which is October 2021, as of now I have about 60 videos on Tanisha's Beauty Supply YouTube channel. And you can go through those videos, and I give out vendors in multiple videos, so you don't have to feel like you have to ask your competitors where they're getting their products from. I want to talk a little bit more about research. Research in this business is crucial. You are not going to make it without researching. You have to research this business. When I first got into it and I started selling closures and frontals, I didn't know the difference between a closure and a frontal. I had to learn that. So research, if you don't know your products, oh my goodness. You have to know the product. You have to know what customers want. You have to know the difference between certain products that sound similar. You have to know why your style is like this particular edge stick rather than an edge control. And it's going to be different for every customer base, for every area. So that is crucial. So before you open your beauty supply store, or as you're planning to open, research. And one of the best ways to research your product and research the trends is Instagram. Just scroll on Instagram, start following all of the hairdressers, nail techs, the fashion trends, because that's going to keep you updated on what the trends are. So you have to research, and I'm constantly researching. I've had my store for about 3 years now, and I'm constantly researching. I don't even really care for Instagram because of the content that flashes on there sometimes, but I keep up with it. The young people are always showing me what they like, what they want to wear, what's trending, what's in style, what products are being used. You can use Instagram as well as YouTube is an awesome way to do research. So like I said, you want to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell for Tanisha's Beauty Supply YouTube channel, because not only do I tell you how to get into the beauty supply business, how to open a beauty supply store, but I also have a plethora of videos that will help you through almost every issue you can encounter in the beauty supply industry. A lot of times there are programs that people will charge, you can pay for, and they will teach you these things. But when I started in the business, I didn't have money to pay for a program. I had to take everything I had, every dime I had, spend it on opening up and spend it on product and flip my money and flip my money and flip my money, because I didn't get a loan. I didn't have access to, you know, 60, 70, $80,000 to start. This is why I bring you content, so that in case you're in that position and you don't have 30, 40,000 to spend on a school or a program to teach you how to get into the business, then these are going to be videos that are going to be helpful from my experience of what I've experienced. And I have a successful beauty supply store and working on opening another one. If you are in a position where you can pay to go to a training program, then by all means, I would, you know, urge you to research that to see if that's something that's going to be helpful for you. Research licensing, permits, and fees. So that's going to be your next step, is to research licensing, permits, and fees. Every state is going to have licensing requirements, and they're going to have fees for you to get your name registered. You have to have your EIN number from the federal government. The EIN number is like your business social security numbers. When you get that information in the mail and you post up your sales tax, be sure to blacken out your EIN number, because there is a such thing as identity theft with businesses. So you don't want to just throw your EIN number around and have it in the open. You want to keep that information to yourself until you need it for lenders and business transactions. Once you register your name, go ahead and decide on a budget. What's going to be your budget? So is it going to be a $5,000 budget? Is it going to be a $50,000 budget? Is it going to be a $150,000 budget? All of those can work. And I have a video, opening a beauty supply store, $5,000 or less. That's not going to be an actual brick and mortar store. That's going to be something like a booth inside of a flea market. But it can be done, and it's an excellent way to start, because what it does is it allows you to learn the product, learn the business, learn the market on a low budget. So if the flea market isn't going well, what is your rent? Probably about, you know, anywhere from $100 to $600 a month. They have flea markets where you can also leave your items there and close them off with tarp or gates that you can make. So that's an excellent way to get started with your beauty supply store, and that's about $5,000 or less. So you'll want to check that video out if that interests you. I started my store with about $15,000, but I also started in a building, in a suite of only 400 square feet. I was able to expand to another space within that building that's about 1,200 square feet. Now I've pretty much almost outgrown that space. I need to move again. Now I'm preparing for my brick and mortar to open that. I was able to go in steps. If you want, I have a video. I have a wonderful video where I break the numbers down for you. The name of the video is How Much Does It Cost to Open a Beauty Supply Store? So you'll want to check that out too. If you don't want to start in a flea market or a suite, you want to start right out there on the road in your own space in a building, then I have a video for you that will help you figure that out. Then you have to decide on a location. Don't decide on the location without deciding on your budget. So you want to decide on your budget first and then decide on the location. The number one thing I will tell you when it comes to location, don't make the mistake that I made on my first business, which was a thrift store that did not make it. It lasted for 3 years because I was paying for it out of my pocket, out of my job, but it was never profitable. I opened up my thrift store in a strip mall, but the strip mall, the space that I was in a corner. Don't open anything that's hidden. Do not open anything that's hidden. Even if you have to pay more money to be in a space that's visible, do not open anything that's hidden, because you're already crippling yourself before you can get started. If you cannot afford to open in a visible space, wait. Because when the real estate rule says location, 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 that is for a reason. They are not lying. You need that back and forth traffic on that busy main road that's seeing that you're there. You need that, especially when you're trying to build a business. So do not open in the back. location somewhere that's hidden. I used to have people, when I had my thrift store, I used to have people coming into the parking lot looking because they saw me on Google and they were looking for the store and still wasn't seeing it. And I had channel lettering and everything. Do not open in a remote or hidden location. You will then need to look into insurance policies. So you definitely don't want to open your doors, not even one day, without having your business insured. Your business insurance is to protect you. Someone could come in and injure themselves, and if you don't have business insurance, then they are not suing the business, they are suing you. And that's another reason to have your permits and your licenses in order, because if you don't have a license or you don't have a business name and you end up being sued, they're suing you. So for the rest of your life, every check you get, if you work a job, every check you get, you know, part of it is being garnished. You have a judgment against you for a lawsuit. So you don't want that. Make sure that you get your insurance in order. And when you get your insurance, don't let your insurance lapse. Do not let your insurance lapse. Murphy's Law, that's the minute that something to happen when your insurance lapses. Researching your inventory is going to be a lot of hard work. Like I said, just scroll through the videos, watch the different videos, because I'm dropping vendors' names in different videos. You'll not only get vendors' names, you will also get knowledge along with the vendors' names. The knowledge that you're getting is going to just be very helpful in opening your beauty supply store. It will help you avoid some of the mistakes that could be very costly. When I give vendors names and vendor information, I also add a video that's going to help you in your business. So just go through those videos, watch those videos, please share them, please like them, because that's going to cause YouTube to continue to show them even more when people like them. And then that content is going to get out to more of our people. And the more the content gets out there, the more we're going to open beauty supply stores. And when you look around, we will be definitely partaking in the sale of the products that we use as African American people. And that is the goal. Once you have gotten researched your inventory, you want to make sure that your beauty supply store is presentable. When you're opening up, you want to make sure it's presentable, and you can decide how you want to design it. I've seen some people open stores and they will spend a ton of money on beautifying the space. My suggestion is don't spend a lot of money on anything you can't take with you. The flooring, I'm never spending a lot of money on flooring unless I just really got I have like a 10-year, 15-year lease and I'm gonna be there, or I have bought the building, because you can't take the flooring with you. Either I'll clean the floor or I'll go and buy a large piece of commercial carpeting. It's not expensive. And if I wanted to, I could take it with me, or I'll hit Sam's Club or Uline and buy large commercial black rugs, and I could always take those with me. There's ways to get around flooring because you can't take it with you. I try not to do too many things that I can't take with me. Also, sometimes I see people go overboard and the space is beautiful, but they're only there 6 months. Your number one priority with money has to be your inventory. That's what's going to bring you more money. So do not go crazy on decorating something that you don't even know if it's going to work yet. Make sure that you put almost every dollar you can, and 90% of your budget should go to inventory, because that's what you're going to be flipping and making more money with. And then whatever you can wait on. Say like if you spent $10,000 on inventory and you sell that inventory, that 10,000 turns into 13, comes back 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,000. You want to make sure that you're spending most of your money on inventory. And then with that 15, 16, 17,000, then you have more money to do more decorating as time goes on. Consider investing in a point of sale software. You can do it without that. With just a cash register that you can get from Office Depot or Office Max. That's a good way to start. If you are the one that's working there and you're not worried about theft, you can start that way. Actually, even if you aren't the only one working there, you can start that way, because you can have workers count the drawer down and then you can track theft that way. But You don't have to start with software, but if you do want to start with software, there are different programs out there. QuickBooks is a good one. Square is out there for software. Some of these POS systems like Square, PayPal, they also, as you run money through the system, they will also offer you business loans over time. So QuickBooks, Square, PayPal. QuickBooks doesn't have a loan program attached to it, but I know that Square and PayPal does. Market your business. That is definitely important. Market your business. So you want to be posting on Instagram every day. Even before you open your store, you want to start posting. You want to be posting on Facebook. My rule for myself that I've created is I'm not going to pay for any paid advertising until I take full advantage of the free advertising. That means I'm going to be taking advantage of Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Until I get to the point that I'm taking advantage of all of the free venues, I'm not going to pay for advertising. I made that mistake in my first business. I spent altogether, they had to make the commercial and then I had to pay for them to run it. I spent like $4,800. And when I tell you I didn't get any sales from that $4,800, I did not. That could have been, product I could have bought from my thrift store, or I could have paid bills with that money. I did not make any money off of that $4,800. When I went into my beauty supply store, the only money that I spent on advertising was a couple of times I ran Facebook ad and a couple of times I ran Instagram ad. And I did see people going to my website. They were going to my website looking for my wig. So that worked better than paying for a television commercial for me. This was my experience. When you have your website up, especially if you're selling something on your website like wigs, you can pay the $15, $20, $30 for Instagram to run an ad, and then that will drive people to your website and they can order your wigs off your website. So you can have your website attached to your Instagram ad or your Facebook ad. I think that's a smart way to advertise and market as well, because it's not that much. It doesn't cost that much. You can decide your budget, whether you're going to spend $20 that week or $200 that week or $2,000. It's up to you. So those are just some key points to remember in how to open your beauty supply store. I have told you how to open. Any suggestions that you have, and you have a beauty supply store, any suggestions that you have, please put them in the comments. Any questions that you have. Currently, I'm not charging to respond to questions through email. If you put a question in the chat, in the comments, and I'm able to answer it, I'll probably direct you to my email. And currently, I'm not charging, but that will eventually change. If you have a question, an important question, I will either point you to a video that I have created that answers your question, or I will share my experience with you and try to answer your question. And as of now, it doesn't cost anything. The only thing I ask is when YouTube starts playing the commercials on Tanisha's Beauty Supply YouTube channel is that you let them play sometimes, because that's how YouTube will compensate me for helping you. So as of now, not charging for advice yet, if I can help and when I can get around to it, but I'm sure that will change in the future. So thank you for joining How to Open a Beauty Supply Store by Tanisha's Beauty Supply. And let me know if you want me to do another video on another topic that I haven't done a video on, and I will work on that video for you. And I have enjoyed bringing this information to you. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and ring the notification bell.
Tanisha's Beauty Supply, beauty, power, and style, power and style. Tanisha's Beauty Supply, beauty, power, and style, power and style. Yeah,